We are going to begin on our bellies today. So you can just lay yourself down on your mat and you can create a little pillow using your hands for your head and lay your forehead down on your hands. And we'll just take a few breaths here. If you'd like to dedicate your practice to someone, I'd invite you to do that now. If you'd like to set an intention for your practice, you can do that as well. And we'll just begin to relax. Focus on your breath. Relaxing and centering your body. And on your inhale, I want you to feel your lungs expand as you inhale through your nose, and as you exhale, blow the hot air out onto your mat with a sigh. So inhaling through your nose and exhaling with a sigh, exhaling that hot air onto your mat. And then very slowly we'll bring our arms out from under us, bringing our arms down by our sides, laying our right cheek against the mat. Slight stretch in the neck. And then we'll turn our heads so that our left cheek rests against the mat. And then bring your arms out to a T. Bring your forehead back down to the mat. And we're going to start pressing the left hand into the floor, bringing the left hand underneath our shoulder as we roll over, opening up that right shoulder, bringing that bending that left knee and bringing the left foot behind our right leg, coming into a shoulder opener. If it's too much for you with the leg, you can go ahead and stack your legs and roll over so you're not opening the shoulder quite as much. And we'll roll ourselves forward back to center, extend that left arm out long, bring the right hand underneath the shoulder, pressing into the right hand. We'll roll over onto that left shoulder. You can stack your feet, or if you want a little bit more, bring that right leg behind. Bending that right knee. Bringing the right foot bottom to the ground. slowly roll yourself back onto your belly. Place your hands, your forearms down on the mat, your elbows beneath your shoulders, and press yourself up into Sphinx pose. Your hands are in the number, or your arms are in the number 11 and parallel to each other, fingertips facing forward, pressing into the forearms, pressing the palms into the ground to lift your chest up. And slowly we're going to start lifting the glutes up high in the air, stacking the hips on top of the knees, coming into puppy pose, melting our hearts down towards the ground, either bringing your chin or your forehead down to the mats, keeping those hips stacked above the knees. And slowly walk yourself up, coming into tabletop. Keeping our wrists in line with our shoulders, our knees in line with our hips. Our belly button is pulled into spine, our back is long and flat here. And we're just gonna start almost like you're a puppy dog and you're wagging your tail, sort of shifting your hips from side to side. Bending in that side body. And the next time your hips go over to the right, you're going to start walking your fingertips to the left. Walking your fingertips off the mat. Coming into a side stretch here. Hip is jutting out to the right as we walk our hands to the left. And we'll slowly begin walking our hands back towards center, and our hip will jut out to the left as we walk our hands over to the right. We'll begin walking our hands back to center, coming back into that tabletop pose. We're going to step the right leg in, coming into a low lunge. Maybe scoot that right leg forward a little bit so that we can sort of bend forward into the hips, dipping into the hips without that right knee going beyond our toes. And we can bring our hands up. And actually we'll bring our hands back down on the mat. We'll place the left arm, the left hand down on the ground, and we'll lift the right arm up, coming into a modified easy twist position. Arms are stacked in one long line. And we'll slowly begin bringing that right arm down back behind our back. And with our body still twisted to the right, we're going to start raising that left arm up and over our ear, extending to those left fingertips, twisting to the right. And slowly we're going to center our torso, both arms reaching up, framing our ears. And now we're going to start dipping forward into the hips. Feeling a little hip flexor stretch here. Pulling our belly button into spine, we're going to start raising our sternum towards the sky, coming into a back bend, tucking our chin back, and cactusing our arms, pulling our shoulder blades together. And extend back up. Hands will come down to frame the foot. We will come up on the left toes. Actually, go ahead and keep the left knee planted. Turn the left leg to the side and step the right leg out, coming up on the left arm, coming into a modified side plank. I'm going to turn around so you can see me a little better. So coming into a modified side plank, and go ahead and lift up the right leg if you can. And we'll extend those right fingertips high over our ear. Go ahead and drop the right leg and lift the right arm, reaching the right arm as you lift the right toes. And extend that right arm long over your head as you drop the right toes. Lifting the right toes, extending that right arm towards the foot. Slowly releasing down, stretching out long. And extending, lifting the right hand, lifting the right toes. Extending out long, lifting, extending out long, lifting, extending out long once again, and bringing your hands down, coming back to tabletop position. Just turn once again so you can see me. And we'll bring that left knee forward this time. Maybe heel toe the left foot a little further. Coming into a stretch. Coming into a modified low lunge. Place the right hand down on the ground inside of the left foot. Then sweep the left arm up to the sky for easy twist. Arms are stacked in one long straight line. And we'll bring the left hand down behind the back. See how our bodies are twisted to the left right now. We're going to keep this twist, and we're just going to raise our right arm up and over our ears. So we're still twisting to the left. And go ahead and center your torso, reaching your arms up to frame your ears. And we'll start sinking forward into the hips. And slowly pulling our belly button into our spine, we'll start raising our sternum up towards the sky. And cactusing our arms, so we're coming into a back bend as well as a hip flexor stretch. And raise yourself back up. We'll plant the right hand down on the ground. We'll pivot that right foot out. Lift the left leg back, coming into a modified side plank on the other side. Lifting the left toes, we'll reach the left arm up and over our ear. No, I'm sorry. We'll bring the left hand back, stretching it towards our left toes, and releasing. One long straight line. And lifting everything up and releasing. Left toes go towards the ground as we reach the left arm over. Left hand reaches towards the toes and release. Left hand reaches towards the toes and release. Lifting, releasing. And we'll release the hand back down, coming into tabletop position. And we're going to take a couple cat-cows here. So opening the fingertips wide, spreading the fingers wide, pressing into the mat firmly. Inhale, and as you exhale, pull your belly button into your spine, arching your back, bringing your chin to your chest for cat. And slowly on your inhale, dropping your belly, raising your sternum, opening your throat for cow. Exhaling to cat. Over-exaggerating these movements. Go ahead and take a few more with your own breath. as fast or as slow as feels good to your body. And eventually we'll come to a neutral position. We're going to tuck the toes under and sit back towards the heels. And I don't know if you guys have any props or not. I'd like to do a little bit of camel pose. So if you have any books, I mean, if you have blocks, obviously those are the best choice. If you have stacks of books or anything like that, go ahead and grab them. I have some makeshift blocks here. And we're gonna tuck the toes under. We're gonna be sitting our glutes onto our heels. And you can bring your blocks or your stacks of books or whatever you have available to you. Bring them about back by the feet. And we'll take an inhale here and sit up nice and tall, and then slowly we'll roll the right arm back, reach it back for that block, which should maybe be a little bit behind your feet. And then slowly roll the left arm back, grabbing onto the block, and just taking a little tiny back bend here. And then the right arm will come back, and the left arm. And maybe that's enough for you. Maybe that's as close as you want to get to your camel pose today. That's fine. We're going to try it again this time. If you'd like to sit down, if you'd like to flatten your feet and sit down on your heels, you can. Or if you'd like to lift up. Well, first, place your hands behind your back, either palms up or palms down. We're going to take an inhale, and slowly we're going to start to walk our eyes up the ceiling, or up the wall towards the ceiling, tilting back. Not until our head starts to go back do we start bending our back, keeping our chin tucked in. And you're welcome to stay here if you'd like, or you can reach that right arm up and back and see if you can grab onto the block. You might need to bring the block a little closer. And reach the left arm up and back. Coming into that camel pose. And slowly we'll bring the right arm back forward and bring the left arm back. And we'll sit down on our heels. Make sure you keep your spine nice and straight for a moment. Elongate your spine, stretching upward. Taking a breath here, and then slowly walking your hands forward into child's pose. Taking an inhale, and as you exhale, drawing yourself up to tabletop position on your hands and knees. Tucking your toes under, hovering your knees an inch above the ground for bear pose. Bending into the knees as we start pressing our chest back towards our thighs for halfway down dog. And then begin pedaling the feet, coming into downward facing dog. And take a few moments here to get comfortable in your down dog. And then slowly we'll begin bending the knees, pressing our chest back towards our thighs, coming into halfway down dog. Hovering the knees above the ground for bear, dropping the knees for table, and sitting back on the heels to child's pose. Taking an inhale here, and as we exhale, drawing ourselves up to table, tucking the toes, hovering the knees for bear, pressing our chest back towards our thighs for halfway down dog, and lifting our hips up to downward facing dog. Bending into the knees, for halfway down dog. Hovering the knees above the ground for bear. Dropping the knees for table. And sitting back on the heels to child's pose. Taking an inhale here. Exhaling, drawing ourselves up to table. Tucking the toes, hovering the knees for bear. Pressing our chest back towards our thighs for halfway down dog. And lifting our hips up to downward facing dog. And we'll take a few breaths here. Spread the fingertips wide, pressing into the hands, pressing the chest back towards the thighs. And we'll look forward between the hands, and very slowly we'll begin tiptoeing the legs, tiptoeing the feet with our legs as straight as long as we can up to the top of the mat. Coming into forward fold. And in this first forward fold, you're welcome to grab your elbows. If you'd like to sway from side to side, you can. Or you can let your hands hang down, coming into ragdoll, also swaying from side to side. If you'd like to deepen your forward fold, you can grab behind your ankles or your calves and pull your chest closer to your legs, intensifying this forward fold. And then we'll press our hands into our shins, lifting ourselves up halfway. Long flat back from the crown of the head to the tailbone. And exhale into that forward fold. Place your hands on your hips. And we'll lift our elbows, lift our chest, lift our chin, coming up with a flat back. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale to heart center. Inhaling, arms reach. Exhaling to heart center. One more time. Inhaling, arms reach. Exhaling, hands to heart. And as we inhale this time, we're going to swan dive down with a flat back, coming into that forward fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold. And we're going to start heel toeing the feet. Maybe even outside the mat. So a little bit beyond the mat. Inhale, reach up, coming into star pose. And as you exhale, bring your hands behind your back and clasp them. Take an inhale, maybe take a little back bend here, raising your sternum towards the sky. And as you exhale, dive down, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Hands are clasped behind you, knuckles are lifting over your head like you're trying to touch them to the floor in front of your head. And slowly you're going to release the clasp of your hands and let your hands slide down the backs of your legs, coming onto the floor. And maybe heel toe your feet a little bit wider. And you're going to bend into that right knee as you walk your hands over to the right leg. And slowly straighten up as you walk your hands over to the left leg, bending that left knee. Walking your hands back to center, bending into that right knee. Walking your hands back over to the left, bending into that left knee. And maybe you want to start heel toeing your feet a little bit wider apart. And just continue with your own breath, deepening this stretch as much as you can. Feeling the stretch in your legs. Continue walking from side to side. come back to center. We'll place the right hand underneath our nose as we sweep the left arm up, twisting open to the left. And the left hand will come down to replace the right. Left hand presses firmly into the floor underneath our nose as we sweep the right arm up and open, twisting to the right. And the right hand will come back down and we'll begin heel toeing our feet together till our feet get to about the width of our mat. And then we're going to start squatting down. We're going to come into garland pose. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can take the block again and sit down on the block. But we want to make sure we're sitting up nice and tall, that our feet are flat against the floor, that we're pressing into the hands, we're pressing our arms into our thighs. And we'll bring the right hand down to the floor as we reach the left arm up to the sky. And we'll come back to center, lifting up through the crown of the head. Our left hand will place down on the ground as we reach our right arm up to the sky, looking up towards the right fingertips. And we'll come back to center, our hands will come back to prayer. We'll place our hands down on the ground as we start to straighten our legs, making sure that our feet are parallel to the long edges of the mat, maybe heel toeing them a little bit closer together. And we're going to come into monkey pose. So we're in a forward fold right now, and we're going to take our hands and we're going to place the palms of our hands underneath our feet. I'm just scooting them under. The goal is to get our toes all the way up to our wrists. And bend into the legs as much as you need to. And once your hands are in the proper position with your toes moving up towards your wrists, go ahead and begin straightening the legs. Maybe just a little, as much as you can. As much as your body will allow this morning. And slowly we'll start to scoot our hands out from underneath. And we'll heel toe our feet together. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan, diving up with a flat back. And in your inhale, you're going to go ahead and just roll out your wrists a little bit. You can do that with your arms extended towards the sky, or you can bring them down by your sides, just rolling out the wrists. Sometimes monkey pose is a little hard. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, hands to heart center. Go to the other side so you can see me. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, swan diving down with forward fold. And we're going to step that right foot back, coming into low lunge. We're going to pivot the right foot so it's parallel to the short edge of the mat. And we're going to cartwheel the arms up and open, coming into warrior two. Taking a moment to check our alignment in this warrior two position. Make sure we're pressing equally into both legs, rotating our thighs outward like we're trying to press ourselves against the wall behind us. Tucking our tailbones in, belly buttons pulled into spine, not arching our back. Torso is straight up and down, shoulders roll back and down. Go ahead and bend into that left knee, deepening your warrior two. Taking an inhale here, exhaling, drawing your hands up, straightening that left leg, and bending back into that warrior two. And we'll flip the left palm and reverse our warrior. Reaching out long through those left fingertips And we'll straighten the left leg, coming into reverse triangle. And we'll cartwheel the arms open at the same time, bending into that left leg, coming into the warrior two. Raising our arms, straightening the left leg, bending into warrior two. Flipping the left palm, reversing our warrior. Straightening that left leg, reversing for reverse triangle. And bending back into warrior two. Arms raise as we straighten the left leg and bend back into warrior two. Left palm flips as we reach up and over our head to reverse our warrior. Straightening that left leg to reverse our triangle and bending into warrior two. Once more, arms reach, left leg straightens and we bend into warrior two. Left palm flips as we reverse our warrior. Straighten that left leg as we reverse our triangle and bend into warrior two. We'll cartwheel our hands down to frame the left foot. Step the right foot in, coming into forward fold. Halfway lift, forward fold. And this time we're going to step the left leg back, coming into low lunge first. Rotating that left leg so that that left foot so it's parallel to the short edge of the mat. Cartwheeling the hands up, coming into warrior two on the opposite side. Taking a moment here to set ourselves up properly again, pressing equally into both legs, rotating the thighs outward, tucking the tailbone in, pulling the belly button into spine, not arching the back. Torso is straight up and down, shoulders roll back and up. Bend a little deeper into that right knee. Straighten the right leg as you reach the arms up to the sky and bend into that warrior two. Flip the right palm as we reach up and over, coming into reverse warrior. Straightening that right leg, coming into reverse triangle and bending back into warrior two. Straightening the right leg, reaching our arms up to the sky and bending back into that warrior two pose. Flipping the right palm, reaching the right arm up and over, extending through those right fingertips, coming into reverse warrior, straightening the right leg, coming into reverse triangle, and bending into warrior two. Straightening the right leg, lifting the arms, and bending back into warrior two. Flipping the right palm, coming into reverse warrior. Straightening that right leg, coming into reverse triangle. And bending into warrior two. Straightening the arms, straightening the front leg. And bending into warrior two. Flipping that right palm, reaching that right arm up and over for reverse warrior. Straightening the right leg for reverse triangle. And bending into warrior two. Cartwheeling the hands down to frame that front foot. We'll step the left foot in, coming into forward fold. Halfway lift, forward fold. And we'll reverse swan dive up with a flat back. Our right hand will grab the left wrist as we pull the left wrist over to the side, taking a side stretch. And we'll release the hand as we come back to center. Then the left hand will grab the right wrist and we'll pull it over to the side. Come back to center. Exhale, swan diving down with a flat back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Reverse swan diving up with a flat back. And hands will come to heart center. We're going to do a little balance here. So we'll take a second to set ourselves up in the perfect Tadasana pose. Big toes will be touching. Heels will be slightly apart. Big toes will be touching, heels will be slightly apart. lifting up through the kneecaps, pulling up through the thighs, tucking the tailbone under, belly button is pulled into spine, torso is straight up and down, shoulders roll back and open, palms face forward. Lifting up through the crown of the head, we'll close our eyes. We'll take a few breaths here to center. And slowly we'll begin opening our eyes. We're going to ground into the left foot first. So pick up the left toes. Feel all four corners of the right foot pressing into the mat. And drop the left toes. Come up on the right toes. Open that right knee out to the right. We're going to come into tree pose first. And your tree can be here. If you feel like you need to tent your toes on the ground. Your tree can be here. Or your tree can be here. Just make sure that you're not pressing that foot against the knee. And we'll bring our hands to prayer as we find our balance. And once you feel like you're ready, you can go ahead and extend your branches. And we'll bring our hands to heart center once again. We're going to bring that knee forward. Grab the right hand, will grab onto the right knee. The left arm will extend out to the side. And you're welcome to stay here if you feel like this is enough for you. Or you can begin opening that right knee out to the right, using that right hand to guide it. And we'll bring that right knee back to center. Slowly let the right foot come to the ground. Go ahead and roll the shoulders a few times, wiggle the legs, bending the knees. And we'll take another moment to set ourselves up in Tadasana. So bring your big toes to touch, your heels are slightly apart, lifting up through the kneecaps, lifting up through the thighs, tucking the tailbone under, pulling your belly button into your spine, torso is straight up and down, shoulders roll back and down, palms are open, lifting up through the crown of the head, close your eyes. Take a few breaths to feel yourself center. Slowly we'll begin opening our eyes. We're going to ground into the right foot this time. So lift up those right toes. Feel all four corners of your right foot pressing into the mat. And replace the right toes. Come up on the left toes and turn that left knee out to the left. Remember, if you want, your tree pose can be here. You can bring your foot to your calf, or you can bring your foot all the way to your thigh. Just make sure that you're not pressing your foot up against your knee. Bring your hands to your heart center until you feel like you're balanced. And when and if you're ready, you're welcome to extend your arms and grow your branches. And we'll bring our hands back to our heart center. We'll slowly remove our foot from our thigh or from wherever it was. Bringing our knee up towards our chest, centering the knee up first. Left hand takes the left knee, right arm goes out to the right. And you're welcome to stay here, or if you like, you can begin opening that left leg out to the left. And we'll bring the left knee back to center and slowly release the left foot down to the ground. Go ahead and roll out your arms, roll out your shoulders, bend your knees. Get yourself situated. Back to the top of our mat. Inhale, our arms reach up, and as we exhale, we'll swan dive down to that forward fold. Halfway lift, forward fold. Plant the hands and step the feet back, coming into plank. We'll drop our knees to the ground, and slowly we'll lower our chest and our chin down to the ground. We'll place our hands, we'll come up on our fingertips wide outside of our mat, bending our elbows towards the ceiling. Inhale, and as you exhale, press into the fingertips to lift yourself up into a back bend. And slowly release yourself down to the mat. Take one more, take an inhale, and as you exhale, draw your chest up off the floor, making sure you're keeping your hips pinned to the ground. And slowly lower yourself back down into the mat. Take your hands below your shoulders, pressing into the hands. You're going to tuck the toes, start lifting yourself up to the knees. Hovering the knees for bear pose and pressing the hips up to the sky, coming into downward facing dog. Spreading the fingertips wide, pressing into the hands, melting our chest back towards our heart. We'll lift that right leg up high to the sky for three-legged down dog, and we'll bend that right knee, reaching it up towards the ceiling, stacking our hips, coming into a little hip opener. And slowly we'll extend that right leg back up high to the sky, hips are square. We'll bring the right knee over towards our right elbow, and then as we come back, we're gonna cross that. We're gonna rest the right ankle on top of the left thigh, coming into a down dog figure four. And slowly we're gonna start walking our hands back until we get that left heel all the way against the ground. So we're coming into a hamstring stretch on the left leg and a hip opener on the right. And slowly come up on the left toes. We'll kick that right leg up high to the sky and replace the right foot, maybe walking out the feet a little bit if you need to. You can come down to the knees. And we'll roll out our wrists for a second before doing the other side, in case the down dogs are bothering your wrists. And we'll walk our hands out, coming to tabletop first, tucking the toes, hovering the knees for bear, and then pressing our chest back towards our thighs for downward facing dog. And we'll lift the left leg up high to the sky, bending into that left knee. We'll stack our hips, opening our hips here, looking out under our left armpit. And we'll bring the left leg back up high to the sky. Bring the left knee over towards the left elbow, and then place the left ankle on top of the right thigh, coming into figure four down dog. And then slowly we'll begin walking our hands back as much as we need to get that right heel down onto the ground. Coming into a hamstring stretch on the right side, as well as the hip opener on the left. and we'll come up on the right toes as we kick that left leg up to the sky. Replace the left foot down on the mat. We'll slowly come onto the knees, coming into tabletop, and sit back on our heels to child's pose. We're going to take a moment here in this child's pose. If you need to get a drink or rest, go ahead. And slowly we're going to walk ourselves back up to tabletop position. We're going to cross our ankles and come into easy seated pose. And turn so you can see me. We'll inhale, arms will reach up. And as we exhale, our right hand will go down to our side and our left arm will reach up and over. Inhale, arms reach up. This time we're going to open our legs up, coming into a straddle pose. And our right hand will come down on our right side. Exhaling, our left arm will reach up and over. Inhaling, our left hand will come down to our left leg. And our right arm will come up and over. And we'll just continue flowing like this a few times. And the next time your hand comes down to your right, we'll reach that left arm up and over and we'll hold for a few breaths. Making sure we're keeping the chest open and lifted, that we're not collapsing. Inhale, reach back up. Exhaling over to your left. Inhaling back to center. We'll bring our legs in, our feet will touch, our foot bottoms will come together for butterfly. We'll inhale to find length in our spine, and as we exhale, we'll start to fold forward. And you can bring your knees down onto your legs to press your legs closer to the ground. Inhale to find length in your spine. Exhale to draw your nose a little closer to your toes. Inhale to find length. Exhale to deepen the stretch. And use your own breath to fold yourself forward as far as feels comfortable to your body. And your next inhale, draw yourself up. And we're going to transition onto our backs. So bring your feet bottoms to the ground. Slowly lower yourself down. We're going to leave our left leg bent and our left foot bottom on the ground as we bring the right knee in towards our chest, pulling it in, and then crossing the right ankle over the left leg, coming into that figure four position, this time a reclined pigeon. And our hands will grab onto that left thigh as we bring the left foot up off the ground, bringing the left foot towards the ceiling. Make sure you keep your tailbone pressing against the ground. And in this reclined pigeon pose, you can use that right elbow to press against the right thigh to open your hip a little bit more. At the same time, you can bring that left thigh closer to you to deepen the stretch. So, a little bit of hip opening in this practice today. Maybe your hips feel open now and you can take this stretch a little further than you have in the past, or maybe not. Just do whatever feels good to your body. slowly we'll begin bringing the left leg a little farther away from us. Our right arm will come out to a T to the side, right shoulder pinned against the floor, and we'll use our left hand to start drawing that right leg over till the right foot bottom comes down on the left, coming into a twist. And you can use that left hand to pull the right knee down towards the floor, or you can stay where you are. Just make sure that right shoulder is pinned to the floor, getting a nice supine twist. If your neck allows it, you can look over to the right. And bring your gaze back up towards center as you slowly lift your legs back up. We'll uncross the legs, extend them up towards the ceiling, and bend them, placing your foot bottoms on the ground. The left leg will come up and the left ankle will cross over the right leg. And our hands will clasp behind that right leg as we lift the right foot bottom up off the floor, using our hands to pull that right leg in. At the same time, our left elbow is pushing that left leg away, flexing the feet to keep both legs active, making sure we're keeping the tailbone on the ground, taking this stretch to wherever it feels good, opening up the hips as much as you'd like. And slowly begin to slightly release the leg. Bring the left arm out to the side, to a T. And we'll use the right hand to pull the legs over to the right so that that left foot bottom comes down to the ground on the right side. And you either use that right hand to pull that knee down a little closer or just rest it on the leg, taking the stretch to whatever level feels good for you. And if it's available to you, you can look to the left. Slowly bring your gaze back up to center. Bring your legs back up to center. Uncross the legs. Maybe you reach them up towards the sky. Point and flex them a few times before bringing them back down. And we're going to go into Shavasana, and you can either just lay where you are for Shavasana, or if you're interested, you can come to legs up the wall. You're welcome to do whatever feels good to you in your own practice. If you're going to do legs up the wall, if you're going to be in Shavasana, just get into whatever position feels comfortable to you. If you'd like to do legs up the wall, scoot your bottom as close as you can to the wall, and then bring your back down as you lift your legs up to towards the ceiling, resting them against the wall. Roll your shoulder blades under, open your palms to the sky. If you want to do legs up the wall, you're welcome to stay with your legs just straight up the wall. You're welcome to open them into a straddle. You're welcome to bring them into butterfly pose. Just do whatever feels good to your body here. This is your practice. And once you've found the position that you'd like to be in, go ahead and close your eyes and just let your body relax. Feel free to come back to the intention you set for your practice, or if you dedicated your practice to someone, you're welcome to think about them as well. And just allow your body to relax. Be thankful that you took this time out for yourself. Be thankful for everything your body did for you in this practice. Just focus on your breath. You're welcome to stay here as long as you like. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.